There was one voicemail that we probably got like north of 70 voicemails from y'all, so we appreciate y'all dialing in and letting us know your thoughts on the college football playoff and the matchups and your takes and all that. That's phenomenal stuff. Y'all drive the show. There was one voicemail we got that dwarfed the others in terms of a topic, and it was some version of, hey, Alabama got into the college football playoff. That ain't right. Hey, why is Alabama not getting dropped, but BYU gets dropped? How does that work, JD? That was the number one grievance. So without, picking out one specific voicemail, I just want to answer the Bama college football playoff conundrum right now. Now, if you've watched the show, we never wavered in our take. Bama, even if they get thwacked in the SEC championship game, which they did, negative 3 yards rushing, they are not missing the college football playoff. We got called everything. SEC shill. We got called Bama homer. We heard all of it, brother. We heard all of it. In the end, what were we? We were just right, but neither here nor there. We keep talking about Bama with 3 losses, and I hear that. I understand that, but the third loss came in the conference title game, right? Okay, we'll talk about that here in a second. You know what we don't talk about enough? 10-win Bama. Bama with 4 ranked wins in a row. Bama, who was the SEC regular season champion now. Now, again, you got embarrassed in the conference title game. Georgia, walked into your living room, spit on your ottoman, ate your food, did whatever they wanted to do, brother. Whatever they wanted to do. But the fact remains, Alabama, in the context of the regular season, which we still value here in the world of college football, Bama was the best in the SEC based on how the tiebreakers broke and all those things. So the conversation around Bama 10 wins doesn't get nearly enough juice. But if you want to live on the 3-loss side of things, we can talk about that too. Here's my metaphor for this whole discussion. Picture you're taking a class, and you have an A in the class, right? You have earned the right, according to your teacher, to take one more test. Hey, listen, just you and me. Little Johnny over there has got an A-. What a loser. You're good enough to take this final test. You want to take it? Heck yeah. Got a chance to take another test. I already got an A in the class. Let's do it here. You fail that test. Fail it miserably. Fail it so bad, you actually rush for less than 0 yards in front of everybody. Everybody watched you take the test. You get embarrassed. You get a C- now. What? I took an extra test. How am I getting a C-? What about little Johnny? Little Johnny still got the A-. He didn't take the test. How does that work? How do I have a lower grade in the class after taking a test that nobody else in the class took? That doesn't make any sense. So I understand we want to live in this world of they got 3 losses, they got embarrassed. I understand that. I hear that. But quite frankly, I don't have any energy for it. It doesn't make any sense. We still saw Bama go and win 10 football games and win 4 games in a row against ranked teams, one of which being at the team that embarrassed you in the conference title game. So I'm not dismissing it, but I think the idea they shouldn't be in the college football playoff because they took an extra test and failed it, that to me makes no sense. I'm not here for it. And I think that when we let the dust settle, the most logical thing prevailed, which was Bama being in the college football playoff. Now, here's the 2 major gripes I hear. One is, well, JD, why does BYU drop and not Alabama? And we could have a discussion around how those games looked and the way that Texas Tech beat BYU twice. What I think really happened was I think BYU got caught in the crosshairs of the Miami-Notre Dame discussion. I think the committee made a mistake with Miami where they ranked them in that first ranking, having them 18. Miami kept winning. You got to a world where Miami was 12 and Notre Dame was 10, and BYU's just chilling there at 11. They lose the conference title game. The committee's like, well, we got to fix this mistake. Sorry, BYU, you're not in the playoff anyway. We got to make a move here. And so, me personally, I would have probably just kept BYU at 11. If you're not making the playoff at that point anyway, Notre Dame, you go back to 12. I get it's funky. I get it doesn't make a ton of sense, but it would have been a way to save face for the committee in that sense. I don't think it was a thing where, like, Bama got this special treatment for not dropping and BYU dropped because they lost by more against Texas Tech. I don't think that was the logic. If it was, the committee does what they want to do. It's a group of 12 human beings that make mistakes, evidently. I think it was more Notre Dame-Miami fueled than it was Bama fueled. The second thing, though, that I hear is that the committee is inconsistent, JD. JD, we've seen precedent from this before. Teams lose their conference title game. They get dropped out of the college football playoff. What is this committee doing? Y'all, this committee is not previous committees. This committee's got like 7 new people on it from last year's committee. Heck, we've seen committees drop a team out of the college football playoff in the 4-team era when they lose their quarterback. Shout out Florida State and Jordan Travis. This committee, with Ole Miss without their head coach, got moved up a spot. Like, this committee does not care about previous precedents. So while it doesn't make sense all the way given previous committees and the way they've operated, I just want to stress that this committee is not other committees. All right, so we can't use that logic around what they've done previously for a brand new set of human beings in a room talking about college football. Now, here's one more thing I want to say, and this is kind of ugly, so just bear with me. SEC bias is a real thing among college football fans. We all know that. You all have your group chats. You got the Bama guy and the Georgia guy in there. Maybe that's who you are. You're definitely carrying the flag for the SEC. It's no different from other conferences. Like the Big Ten's got the Ohio State guy in there, the Penn State. Like it's what we do as college football fans. It's a tribal sport, and we love it. We don't apologize for it. But as much as SEC bias is real among fans, anti-SEC bias is also a real thing. And can I say this too? I get it. I grew up around it when I was in grade school, man. Like I understand it. Like the barking from Georgia fans, that's freaking annoying. If you're a Georgia fan, more power to you. It's what you do. You have no problem saying you're a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan and barking. But like, if you're on the other side of that, it kind of rubs you the wrong way. You're tired of hearing about all the national titles that SEC teams won. I get it. The SEC beast that it is, if you're not within it, it can rub you the wrong way and be a little bit obnoxious. I understand that. But if we want to be real about this thing, the anti-SEC bias agenda exists as well. Go pull up old tweets from some of these folks shouting for Bama to get dropped from the college football playoff because they lost to Georgia. Just go check it out. I will guess there is a larger hit rate of folks begging for Bama to be out of the college football playoff. I bet there's an overlap there with those same folks shouting before the ACC title game is played a year ago that SMU, no matter what the score is against Clemson, they have to be in. It sounds something like, well, the games have to matter. The regular season has to matter. SMU, they should be in. Now, listen, I don't have a dog in the fight here. Again, I grew up around that. I also grew up around the Pac-12 country. I lived in a Big Ten country. My 23andMe college football test comes back with a bunch of different conferences attached to it, all right? So I don't have a dog in the fight here. But I do just want to make sure we say this out loud. There is a portion of the college football public that has an anti-SEC bias agenda. And I understand it. I get it. But let's also understand that just because you don't like the SEC doesn't make Bama getting into the college football playoff less valid. So I get it. I hear it. It is what it is. But quite frankly, Alabama being in the college football playoff as an SEC runner-up, they were never going to get left out.